Welcome back to another edition of the Commissioner's Corner with your host, Matt Sheff, Ant-Man89, and SC Kicker.
What is up? What is up, everyone? Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Commissioner's Corner, where we're going to start off frost season with a bang. Joining me, SC Kicker. What's going on, my friend? Ant-Man is feeling a little ill this evening, so he's not going to be joining us tonight, but I know he's in the audience. So, but how you doing?
Doing good, man. Surviving this crazy winter weather we're having in the South, man. It's insane.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm back in Buffalo this week.
Right. So how much snow did you guys get?
Man, I had about 12 inches at my house. That's the most I've ever had since I've been down here. I guess I moved down in like 96. So it's been quite a while.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, a normal storm for us is 12 inches. So
that's like a daily thing there.
Yeah, it's like just a regular thing. But we've been in a deep freeze here for the last 2 weeks. We were talking about it before the show. The high temperature here has been 12 degrees for the last 14 days until today. Today it got up to 21.
Nice.
But the wind chill still kept it at about, felt like 9 or so. Wow. So yeah, because the wind was kicking, blowing through the mountains. It was awesome.
It's so different down here with the plows, like up north, living up there, they have all the machinery, everything you need to clear the roads. I was driving down my one road today when I was leaving the neighborhood, and I looked and there was like a little pickup truck. It was like a pickup truck plowing the main roads, man. It was hilarious. I thought I was seeing
that's pretty funny.
That was the first time I've seen that down here. Actually, it was comedy.
Yeah. So I live on a state highway. So I live the road that I live on. So I'm like literally I can walk to Vermont in about 4 minutes.
Oh wow.
So I'm right on the border of Massachusetts and Vermont. And so I live on a state highway that connects the two. So I have a plow that I'm not kidding. You can set your watch by it. Goes by my house every 8 minutes.
Oh my God.
During a storm. That's day, night, 24 hours a day. If it's snowing, every 8 minutes, the plow goes by.
Man.
It's pretty cool because the road stays clear. What sucks is the end of my driveway gets piled with snow every 8 minutes. So you have to like time the shit when you're trying to get out. And
I used to hate that.
It's crazy.
I used to hate that as a kid. We would, everybody would wake up early, get the driveway shoveled out so you can get the cars out. But then the plows would come by and they'd fill it right back up in the, the skirt of the driveway. Yeah. That was the heavy stuff too.
We have the plow guy that we have. He's like the regular plow guy. He's the one that drives every, that route every time. He gets so mad at me because I have this massive snow blower. And so this last storm that we got, I'm not kidding you. I went out and I had to jump to see over top of the mound that was at the end of my driveway. So it was a little over 5 feet tall.
Damn.
And it was about 4 feet wide into my driveway. So I have this massive snow blower. So I'm blowing the snow back out into the road on the right side of the driveway. So he would plow it down the road more. He was getting so mad at me because every time he went out there, I had a big mound piled. Hey, what are you going to do?
No, that's right. That's right.
Got to do something. But anyway, hey, we're here to talk Frost Season Racing Championship Series. We got a few changes this year, or this season, I guess. We're going to talk and, teams making the comeback, in Frost Season. So really excited about that. But we're going to kind of unpack it all because there's a lot to go over. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Of course, Frost Season, again, thank you to all of our sponsors on the board here. Some that you all know, been around for quite a while, some new ones popping up there on the board. So just a huge shout out to all of our sponsors. Thank you so much for jumping in and helping us promote racing because it has been fantastic. And this is where we are after 2 seasons on the Genesis leaderboard. City Pigeon maintaining the lead at 80 points, sitting on top after Harvest and Wonderland. JH and Crowley 27 tied in the second place position. JR Wheels Cruiserito tied in the 4th place position. Ja Rashad in there, Cal Trading Co., Wander 1976, Ace 696, KO Ninja, our rookie Quate in there as of last season. He's a veteran now, moving into season number 2. And we'll see how these teams things shape up, because I'm sure that he's going to get drafted for a team pretty quickly. And then Funky Beats in there as well, rounding out the top 12. I've got the 16 up there on the board just because I want people to understand how close they are to getting into this top 12 for the Genesis year-end finale. And this is big payouts going to be on this race. Last season, City Pigeon got himself a custom cart and some other stuff last Genesis week. So really cool prizes that they give out for that. I did want to highlight, so this is the our championship series calendar. I did want to highlight one thing right there. You'll see the little orange circle there. I did have to make one brief change on here. I moved the Friday race to Thursday, February 26th, due to a family issue that popped up for Friday. So I did make one change. I will post this on the Upland General server in the announcements page and pin it there. So if anybody needs to look at what's happening with the calendar. But this is where we're racing at. We're starting out at the Rabbit Racing racetrack, fast track, a lot of fun. And then we're moving on to French Road Speedway in Detroit, and then American Speedway in New Orleans, Asphalt Race in Los Angeles, and then jumping across the pond to St. Row in London, and then finishing out in Lusail in Qatar. So really cool tracks, I think, this season. Fast tracks, some technical ones. And then, of course, finishing off with the dreaded Lusail that is just miles and miles and miles long. But this season, we're incorporating alternate tracks. We've already selected the alternate tracks in case we have issues like we did the last couple of seasons with tracks. We already have alternate tracks that are picked out. Our first alternate is Northumberland, and our second alternate is Raytown Shakedown. So that's our schedule moving into this week. So I did want to go ahead and kind of unpack some of the stuff that we're talking about. As we said, we were making some changes for this season. One of the most notable changes is the MPS score, and of course, the return of the team racing. So we're going to go through all of that. MPS score has been increased from 240 to 260. Now, I would like to advocate for an increase to 270, but that's just me. 260 it is, but it's definitely going to allow. Now, this does bring back our cars that were limited last season. So the limited edition and special edition model S1s are brought back into it with this increased max performance score. So we're going to see how this shakes out. Again, making tweaks as we go along. We're going to find a recipe that works at some point in time. We want it to be, a balanced and fair racing experience for everybody. So that's what we're, some of these tweaks are kind of working towards, is trying to make sure that we're staying balanced and fair. And of course, it's racing. The cream is always going to rise to the top no matter what you do. But we like to keep the races exciting. We like to see what's going to happen. The drama is what kind of brings everybody to the racing. And we're going to add more when we add teams to it. So it's going to be interesting to see how everybody shapes up their cars with that 20-point increase there in that max performance score. Going to be interesting. What do you think about that?
Well, it's pretty cool. So a little bit of more performance for sure.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see if that actually does balance out the difference with the special different editions. It may not, but we'll see how it goes. They're relatively close, but there is a couple of standout things that the special edition models have. So we'll see. Should be interesting. And then if we move down here, yeah, go ahead.
Do you feel like that 270 mark you were talking about kind of levels it out better?
In my opinion, it would, only because 20 points really limits what boost you're going to put on there. So I think adding an extra 10 would allow you to add an extra high powered boost, which might balance out a little bit better versus what you would be able to put onto one of the one of the special edition vehicles. But that, like I said, we could tweak it again next season. It just depends on how the season turns out and how things kind of run. So again, little tweaks are going to be expected here and there, just to try to make it a good racing experience for everybody.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what concoctions are used with the power-ups for sure.
Right. Yeah. Well, the good thing is the market, the power-ups are out there. They're, they're easy to get. So, with that in mind, I personally like the idea of trying to balance out the MPS a little bit better and allow people to use more of those power-ups, because that's what they're for, right? So I think it's a good thing. I would probably advocate for 10 more points, but that's me. But of course, team racing returns. So we're going to move right over to that, because I know everybody's pretty excited about that. But first, before I do that, I do want to talk about some of these tracks that we're running on. So this is our Rabbit Racing track. This is week number 1. We kind of went with a little bit of a theme this season. So the theme is only known to me, but there was a method to my madness when I did this. So Rabbit Racing, this is our first track. Track number 2 is French Road Racing 2 Speedway. This is a JR Wheels track. This is up in Detroit. Fun track, crazy track, more difficult than most of the tracks that we're going to run this season. We've got a couple of them in there that are pretty technical, and this is, in my opinion, one of the ones that we're really going to have to pay attention to as far as how you're setting up your car. Then we move over to America Speedway, another one that has quite a few technical sections, but a lot of really nice boost sections as well. So I think this one is going to serve the fast cars very well. And then we have Asphalt Race. Very basic track, but man, this thing's fun. It's 2.38 miles. The turns are nearly perfect, in what I would consider perfect turns, which is 45, double 45s instead of a single 90 when you make turns, which to me is kind of a perfect turn, because it limits your skids, gives you a little bit more speed going around the track. So it makes it fun. But I think this one has probably the most perfect turns of any track in Upland right now. So it's a good track. And then we move over to St. Row in London. Again, another technical track. I think this one is going to be interesting to watch. It does have some really nice boost sections to it, but it also has some got to put on the brakes before you get there sections big time. So hopefully everybody learns that before we get there. But now the team challenge, we're going to talk about this. This is the Genesis team challenge. This is if everybody paid attention to the announcement, this is up to 4-man teams. You don't have to have 4 drivers on your team. However, your team still has to possess 5 passes. So if you were to recruit a 4th driver partway through the season, you already have a pass for them to come in. So it is intended to be part of the recruiting tool to help teams get the 4 drivers that they need, because all 4 drivers' points, if they were to finish in the points, will be added together each week to go onto that team board. So the more drivers you have in the top 24 scoring points, the more likely you are to have your team in the top 4 going into the Genesis Team Challenge, which will be held during Genesis Week. And what is the Genesis Team Challenge? It's the top 4 teams over the next 2 seasons. So it's going to be Frost season and Blossom season. So it's the top 4 teams over the next 2 seasons will go on to the team Genesis Team Challenge. The way it's going to work is it's an elimination bracket. So the top team will race team number 4. The number 2 team will race team number 3. Your top 3 drivers in your team will race in bracket number 1. And if you make it to the championship bracket, and it's obviously best of 3, so it's head to head. So your top 2 go head to head, your second 2 go head to head, your top third go head to head. You win 2 of those 3, your team will move on to the finals. In the finals, you have to substitute out your 4th driver, who would be your bottom driver on your team, according to the URL rankings at racing.myupland.info. So that's how your team will get ranked. So where they rank in the team, in the standings on that board, is where they will get ranked and placed into this board. So your bottom driver will get substituted for one of your top drivers if you make it to the finals. So it's a little twist to see how people organize this. The full prize pool is going to be announced sometime between now and Genesis, but the prize pool does include a 1 million UpX bonus to the winning team, courtesy of myself at Vegas Motor Car Company and Mass Chef Motors. So that is being added to the prize pool for that race series for the teams at Genesis Week. So get your teams ready, and you need 5 passes. So as long as you can give me 5 passes, I laid out all the team information on the announcements today in the Upland General server. So your teams will get listed. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. But I need your team name, your team logo. I need the names of all 4 drivers, their Discord name and their in-game name. Then I also need the name of the team owner or team lead. They're both the same thing. Team lead would be a team owner that's a driver. A team owner would be an owner that's not a driver. That is where the extra pass comes in. So you're buying one as the owner. So each driver owns a pass, and then the owner has a pass. The owner who's a driver would have 2 passes, obviously. So that's how that works. So teams of 4, up to 4, but you must have 5 passes to register your team. Team registration is done at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday, February 5th. So you need to get your team registered prior to that time, because that's when they'll do the snapshot for pass owners for the drivers. Cool. What do you think? Questions, comments, concerns, anything?
Not for me.
So are the Ninjas going to be putting a team up?
That's a good question. We got to see if we can I can't make a lot of the races because of work.
Mm-hmm.
Did I see there's 2 races on Thursdays?
There is, yes. Yeah, in February, there's 2 Thursdays back to back, just because of family stuff that's going on that I have to take care of. So yes, we do have 2 Thursday races.
Nice. Yeah, I got to get with KO and see. Hopefully we could put a team on the track here.
I mean, it wouldn't be URL Racing without a Ninja team on the track. I'm just throwing it out there, just saying that, All right. How about anything from the audience? Oh, and by the way, one thing I did want to mention that we also added this season is that each track owner that gets a track through the season will get a 25,000 UpX bonus at the end of the season for us using their track on the
Nice.
show. So what that means, though, is if your track ends up having issues and we don't actually use the track and have to go to a backup track, then that UpX goes to whatever track is featured on the show. So whoever that track owner is. So
Keep
make sure
your
you're running
up.
Yeah, if you're an owner and you own a track and you want to make sure that it gets selected and you want to make sure it stays, make sure you keep your track ready and then ship shop tip top shape for us when it comes time. So, but that's it. That's all of our updates and changes for racing.
Well, that's a lot of changes.
Yeah. It's going to be. I can't wait. It's going to be an awesome season. I'm really interested to see how this team thing turns out because literally, there's no limit to the number of teams that we can have. There's no, there's no limit to the number of drivers that we can have. So put together a team and get out there because you never know.
Yeah,
just never know. Somebody could be. You could have somebody in your group that is a crack racer, and you don't even know it. So,
Yeah, it's so true.
I mean, we got examples. Quate was in there last season. First timer D6 in there last season. D6 been around racing for a long time, but first time in making it on the boards last season. So you just never know. And they both did very well.
Yeah, they made quite the splash this last season.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Don't forget, February 5th, that's your deadline. If you got a team out there and you want to get them registered, make sure you get in contact with me. DM me on the Upland General server, DM me on the URL server, DM me anywhere you can find me because I'm literally everywhere. I don't have any kind of filters on my DMs, so make sure you get in touch with me. Let's get your team registered. Get out there, have some fun because this is going to be fun. When you get teams involved, it brings a whole new kind of strategy to the game on how you work together, how you try to, train together, race together. And honestly, in my opinion, having team racing makes better racers because now you have a group of people that you're going to practice with and get on the track a lot with. And that just is how you get better at it, is just being out there. So can't wait to see everybody on the track. Go grab your pass. They're live in the store right now. And let's go racing. And until next, so we're not on next Friday. It's the Friday after will be our first finals. But the first week's qualifying will start this Thursday, February 5th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern. So get your team together, get them out on the track. Let's go have some fun. And don't forget, and this coming Saturday, we will be on the track live, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I have a special guest. CP is traveling, so he's not going to be able to make the show, but we have a special guest on. We're going to have a ton of fun. Bring your police cars, bring your taxis. I want to record 3 taxis and 3 police cars in a race so I can make a police chase video. So it looks like the police cars are chasing the taxis around the track. But anyway, come join us on the track live, win some UpX, have some fun, get out there and race, bring your teams, and let's do this frost season thing. And we'll see you next week. Have a great evening.
See you on the track.